The next thing I'm going to take out is the transmission. So in order to do that, I've got to disconnect the transmission cooling lines, which run to the radiator, and the vacuum line that goes to the modulator. I've already got the vacuum line off. The top line over there I have already disconnected with a flare nut wrench. The bottom one, someone has already done me the favor of screwing up the thread or the socket portion of it, so I'm going to have to try to take it off with vice grips. See if I can get them on there good and tight. It slipped. Let's get this vacuum line out of the way. So that thing is on there pretty tight. Okay, we're going to do the other trick. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take a minute, I'm going to remove the top line, and then I'm going to cut the bottom line off and see if I can get a 6-point socket over that flare nut on the transmission. Okay, I'm ready to cut that. Let's see if our 1/2-inch socket actually fits on it. Having a little trouble with the 1/2-inch, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to go with a slightly larger metric socket. This is a 12, that doesn't fit. Should be a 13. That does fit. Didn't work either, it just rounded it some more. Well, let's go with an adjustable wrench. Maybe I can use a 3/4 on the fitting that's screwed into. 3/4 isn't going to work. That is hard. Going to shut off the camera for just a second to get the right socket that will fit over top of that fitting. Okay, that's an 11/16 socket on that fitting. I had to tap it on with a hammer just a little bit, and since this was single, I went straight to the breaker bar and we're loose. So I'll just take that out and then I'll get the fitting apart in a vise. What I did to get that out is I opened my vise so that I would be able to catch just the tips of the socket on it. Now this I have already started to knock out, so it's further than it was, but just to get the idea, I put the edges of the socket on the vise, tapped on a hammer, and it knocked the fitting out of the socket. Now I just have to get the fitting off of the screwdriver. So there you have it. That's how an easy way to get things out of a socket when it's stuck. Okay, now to get the stuck part out of the fitting, I've got the rounded off one in the vise. I clamped it down real tight, and I got my 11/16 inch wrench that grips on the flats of the fitting, and I was able to break it loose. I think by clamping the vise around that fitting that was stuck, it probably broke the bond that the rust had on it. Now, when I took this out of the transmission, it had a copper washer on it, so I'm going to put that back on. And I'm going to go and hand tighten this into the transmission right away so that I don't lose it. Someone has obviously replaced these transmission cooling lines in the past, and you can see that they had trouble with the one that I just took off because they have a union. They couldn't get it off the transmission, so they cut the line here and put a union in. So those lines are actually in very good condition, so I'm probably not going to replace those except for that little portion between the transmission and the union. And who knows, maybe I'll even put a union in the other line to make it easy to get those off if necessary in the future, but we'll see.